Hello everybody, back here again for our vlog a day. And today is Sunday the 26th, and today was a lovely, beautiful day to be alive. Got up this morning fairly quickly, earlier than I wanted, but the dogs were getting me riled up and had to get outside. I kind of had an urgency to their step, let's put it that way. So got them up, got them out, got them all fed and cared for and all the fun stuff that comes with that. Medications and everything. Was going pretty well. Went ahead, had a couple other things to do. Nothing real major, just kind of simple little stuff. Hung around with them for a bit, got them all separated out and fed. It's one of those things you got to kind of separate them out. Then some don't want to eat. There used to be a grazer at their house, so it's always a little bit different here. But hung out with that for a little bit. Got a few things done. Ended up giving back to the little dogs. Went home, and it's amazing how quickly the energy changes in the whole house. Like it changes so much. When that little chihuahua went home, all that nervous, like paranoid energy was gone. So, and the energy the rest of the dogs just kind of settled in. It's so much nicer. So if I get back the little chihuahua, the little one, Dash, I watch him all the time, no big deal there. Talked about the fact that he'd been thrown up and stuff. We had a day he was really sick to his stomach, and they think he ate a lizard or a bug, but who knows, because he was sick that morning. He was acting weird. So unless he ate it last night before he went to bed, then it wouldn't have mattered, but who knows. So it is what it is. But he finally got to where he's eating better and he kept food down, so we're all good. He was drinking the whole time, so I wasn't concerned about that. But giving back the dog, that was all fun there. They came and picked up the little chihuahua and gave him back to the dog, and it was kind of a test run, so I got a long stay coming up, and the dog's super nervous and neurotic about things and whatnot. So I explained to him, I said, dog wasn't any harm or any injury or nothing. It never got comfortable. Like it never really settled in. It finally started getting a little better. Like I slept on the bed with the son and whatnot, and that's a little more of a sign of dog comforting down. But even like on the couch, it wasn't quite as bad, like being growly, but then it spent quite a bit of time on the floor in its bed near the other dogs and wasn't quite so protective of its own bed as it was next to a person. It was super protective and being a little shithead. And even out in the yard, it felt like it was constantly, it was like it was looking for a place to escape. It was like a prisoner, just looking, just like constantly checking the fence line, like, when can I run? When can I run? And that makes me super nervous, especially you got a dog that won't even, I have to kind of chase it down, even in the yard. Got to kind of yell out to make it even stop, that if it ever does get out of the fence, it's not coming back to me. Things going to just be gone. And that adds a layer of, I guess, anxiety to my stay that isn't worth it. I can do the same price I charge for that dog as I do for one of the good ones I watch that I enjoy. So kind of told him, I said, if for some reason you can't find anything else, I'd be willing to watch this dog again, but I think the dog would be a lot happier somewhere else. And they appreciated that, and they understood. And they had found some other people, I guess, since they talked to me, that are semi-local, that don't, I think they only watch the one dog at a time and don't have their dogs their own kind of thing. So might be a better environment for the dog. So hopefully that goes well. But I wish him luck. And I kind of didn't really say I would never watch the dog again, but I kind of made it kind of obvious that I would prefer to never watch the dog again. So we kind of had that whole process. And they were appreciative the dog came back, fine. It wasn't like we were being the dog or anything. It was just the dog was never comfortable here. So it's always a super awkward feeling when you're telling somebody, like, I really don't want to watch your dog again, especially with the way the app is working. They have the right to leave a review because they're a paid client. And there's some people out there, these people weren't that way, thank goodness, but some people are just like, oh, you talked bad about my dog and didn't say my dog was the most perfect, precious princess ever, that they'll leave you a bad review. And one bad review can really hurt you a lot. Like a 1-star review takes like 55-star reviews to offset the one-star review. So it's kind of a weird algorithm of how that works, but it is what it is. So I got lucky. They went ahead and left me a 5-star review and didn't leave a comment or nothing, so left a 5-star review, and good to go there. Somebody else had left me another recent 5-star review and praised about how I do things and stuff, which was funny because I have hundreds of them. But I didn't have any recent because I wasn't ever asking anybody to do it. And I think they looked and saw I had tons of reviews, and all those people said, hey, I booked with you because I saw your reviews, why I contacted you for the meet and greet. So I was like, hey, why don't you guys go ahead and just throw me out a couple more reviews here, just because I wouldn't mind having something in this year, because I didn't have anything from like 2022. So maybe it was 2021, whatever it was. There was like a full year I didn't have any. So I think, yeah, it was 2021, I didn't have any. All year nobody posted. I was still getting clients and stuff. Just I wasn't asking for reviews because I didn't need them. And I finally said, hey, why don't you guys give me a couple reviews? Because I wouldn't mind having a couple. People did, and it bumped my rating back up. But I always get nervous the way the app's set up, that all it takes is one crazy person to leave me a bad review that can really hurt my business. And sucks to be in a business that way, but it is what it is. So, and the best part is you have somebody that does. If you do good with somebody, they'll tell maybe 1 or 2 people. You do bad by somebody, they'll tell 100 people. So it's always that extra concern when you're dealing with the public in that process. So kind of is what it is. But yeah, it went well. It left me a 5-star, so I'm good there. Went ahead and got my run in today. I was printing some stuff on my printer as well, doing a couple things. I ended up printing one. I was running super late, and it was just kind of is what it is. I had my leftovers, which technically it's leftovers from yesterday, but I didn't eat any of it yesterday. So I ate my honey chicken tonight, watched a little bit of Seinfeld, and headed back outside to play with my printer some more. Had myself a nice little cigar with a couple dogs out there. And at one point, the dogs were kind of wrestling and playing in the house and getting a little bit excited. And the little one that I have now, that I watch all the time, went after the big one. Like, she was mad because the big one was playing, having too much attention, and went after it. And the big one put her down, like kind of just, really growled on and barked on her and stuff, and kind of slammed her down the ground. And she was all butthurt, and she was pouting for a little while, but she got over it, and it's all fine. But she was mad about it. I'm like, well, it's kind of what you get for being a turd head. So kind of is what it is. So, but yeah, they're getting along fine again, and no big deal there. But just kind of had that. So that's what you get for being a jerk. If you're gonna be a jerk, you gotta be bigger than that. You can't be a jerk and be little. It doesn't make sense. So, but yeah, we had that one. The one print I did, got it off the printer, and it has a bunch of what they call infield support, which basically means, so you say you're gonna print a big letter O, but you don't want to lay it flat. So you're gonna have to print over top of itself, like in the open space. They'll print in little supports in there to help hold that up as it prints it. Imagine you're doing a brick wall, like over like an arch. You would build it up a lot of times in the day, you'd fill it full of sand, put the bricks in. When some mortar sets, dig the sand out, no big deal. Same thing here, but there's so much interior supports in it that I couldn't get it out. Like it was so much like the weird shapes and stuff. Couldn't get the infills out and the supports out. Ended up breaking the piece a couple spots, and I was like, you gotta be kidding me. So I gotta do some research, figure out how to make the supports a lot less and go from there. But just a waste of time and waste of prints. But I didn't so much the material I'm worried about, because it's not that expensive, but it's the time. Like, I'm like, damn, I wanted to do this, and now I have something else to learn. And that's the big thing, is I gotta keep learning stuff and just trying to figure it out. And it's just all a learning curve. But it's one of those learning curves that I'm not having any luck with. And then I ended up calling a buddy of mine, down with him up in Iowa. His mother's one recently passed away, and I was talking to him. His dad went into a rehab center because he broke his leg in 2 spots, both bones in his leg, lower calf, like knee down, both broke both bones. So, but yeah, he ended up in there. We talked a little about putting like a chairlift in for him and a couple of things, because even once it gets cast on, it's a non-weight bearing cast, and the house is split for you. So you walk in the front door, you need to go down half a flight or up a half a flight. So he's going to order a chairlift tomorrow. We talked about it, and I was talking about how you mount it and the way the house is set up. It turns out he found one that actually mounts to the steps itself. It's really cool setup. It sounds like all the mechanical is in the chair. So if he needs to move it to a different house later, or even let's say when we come down here and spend like a month down here and we find a house that has stairs in it, which my house doesn't, but if we did, he could actually bring the chair with him, buy a new railing for a few $100, mount that railing to wherever you want to do it, and then go from there. We could put one if you want to do it in the backyard. You go out there yourself. That'd be a little bit pain in the butt back and forth, because you don't want to take the chair on and off. But if he did want to move to a house, he could take his chair with him, which is super nice. Also, when he gets healthy enough, he doesn't need the chair anymore, or after he passes, they'd be able to sell it to somebody else, and basically just add a new rail, and the chair's still there. The chair does all the work. Comes with 2 remotes, you mount top and bottom, that in case it's up one side and not done the other, which in theory, there's only one person using it in that house, so it shouldn't be an issue, because if he's upstairs, unless for some reason he thinks he can walk down, gets to feeling poorly, he needs to call the chair back down, trying to take the chair back up. That would be something he might use it. Otherwise, it'll always be wherever he's at. If he's downstairs, he'll have it down with him. If he's upstairs, he'll have it up with him. So talked about it quite a bit. Also talked to my buddy about like downloading the files for this program, and he wasn't really sure what I was talking about. So he actually downloaded the software onto his computer. We were looking at it, and I was talking about how it goes, and how once I download my computer, my application, the slicing program won't open it. It's just, he tried to help me there, and it helped me some, but it's still not 100% doing what it needs to do. So I got another buddy of mine who's a little more savvy in that programming, that hopefully I'm just going to do like a screen share with him, and he can see exactly what's happening, and we can figure it out. But we had a good talk. We talked for like 2.5 hours, which we rarely talk that often. So I was out like super late, and then we were talking a lot, so I wasn't smoking my cigar. We were just chatting. After we got the phone, I went ahead and finished up my cigar, and it was 1 o'clock in the morning or so when I finally headed back inside. But it was 100% worth it because I like talking to him. We got a lot of stuff talked about, and you can tell it's weighing on him a lot. Mom's just gone recently, and then now his dad's not doing well, and all that stress of that too. So it was good for both of us to talk and chat and catch up on a lot of those things, but and what the future leads. You know, when his dad comes home, and also when his dad's gone, because it ain't gonna be that much longer. You know, so we had a good conversation. Went in, grabbed myself a slice of cake, and then watched a little bit of iPad in the bed, ate my cake, and wrapped it up and called it a night. So that's all I got for now. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Have yourself a safe and wonderful day. Thanks for watching.